Soybeans at 900 million bushels is just huge. That's a record by far. That's just huge, and that was part of the problem with today's market. I think a little bit of a dose of reality. USDA increased crush by 10 million. Some say it could be raised more. I disagree with that. As we look at the world soy meal trade, we're already seeing U.S. soy meal having trouble competing on the world market for orders later in this marketing year. So I think we're going to see those crush margins back off. Obviously, that also depends on what we see happen with DDGs. If China comes in and buys a bunch of DDGs, this has been talked about, the possibility. That raises DDG prices, makes meal more attractive here on the U.S. market, and perhaps that does keep that crush going. We do have some new crush capacity coming on as well that processors want to be able to keep going, but still I'm sticking with a little bit slower crush target. The real question comes down, and I'll talk about this maybe a little bit more on soybeans. When President Xi met with President Trump December 1st, they promised 5 million metric tons of soybeans and immediately bought them. Several weeks later, they promised another 500 million metric tons of soybeans, and they promptly bought them. They've been a little bit slow on the shipments, but they've been shipping 12 to 15 million bushels per week pretty much. February 22nd or so, 21st or 22nd, I forget which day it was, they promised another 10 million metric tons. USDA Secretary Sonny Perdue said it is imminent. It's going to happen fast. It's going to be quick. It's going to be old crop. Well, if it is, then USDA's export target is too low. It needs to go up to about 1.940, which should be about 65 million bushels above where it's at now, which would drop ending stocks. And that's why my soybean ending stocks estimate here is at 852 million, because when I had to submit this to the surveys, the wire service surveys, was within that window that typically we've seen China buy in the past after promises. They didn't do that. They did come in and make some purchases yesterday. USDA confirmed about 24 million bushels worth yesterday, just shy of 2/3 of a million metric tons. We had heard chatter that, there's all kinds of reports out there. What we kind of had more confidence in was 500,000 metric tons for August delivery, 500,000 for September delivery, 500,000 for October delivery. Others say June to October or November. But regardless, what this says is now they're buying for new crop delivery, at least a portion of these soybeans, this last promise looks to be for next marketing year. So USDA, not knowing what to do, left its export target unchanged. It's going to have to make that adjustment at some point as it gets a better handle on what China's going to do. Can't blame it for leaving it for now.